right here. Love is right now. Love is right here. Love is right now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey. You can look in the distance. You can look in the past. You can turn it upside down to see where it is at. Some will say they found it, some will say not yet, and others will remind you it's not something that you get. Hey, love is right here. Love is right now. Love is right here. Love is right now. If I had 100 wishes, I would give you 99, 'cause one would be sufficient to say what's on my mind. Well, it is no big secret, everybody knows, but we forget like all the rest when the fire's burning low. Love is right here. Love is right now. Love is right here. Love is right now. Maybe you got something to fill me up complete. Well, maybe if I do my best, you'll give me something sweet. Well, I can see it coming, I can watch it go away, or close my eyes and realize a big and better way. Hey, love is right here. Love is right now. Love is right here. Love is right now. Love it, I know it is right here. Yeah, it's right here. Love it, I know it's here right now. Yeah, 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 yeah. Love it, I know right here. I know it's true. Love it, I know it's here right now. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So Kwanzaa is a week-long annual celebration held in the United States and other nations to honor African heritage in African American culture. It is observed from December 26th to January 1st, culminating in gift giving and a feast. Kwanzaa has 7 core principles. It was created by Maulana Karenga and was first celebrated in 1966. So the 7 principles are: unity, to strive for and to maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. Evolution is the awakening of the soul to a recognition of its unity with the whole. Sounds kind of familiar. Self-determination, to define and name ourselves, as well as to create and speak for ourselves. Collective work and responsibility, to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems, and to solve them together. Cooperative economics, to build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses, and to profit from them together. Purpose, to make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. Creativity, to do always as much as we can, in the way we can, in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited it. And faith, to believe with all our hearts in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. So to me, Kwanzaa is very, very much like religious science. Religious science started here in the United States, so did Kwanzaa. Religious science is based on the fact that there are many paths, many different ways, and yet all people are seeking that one, something bigger and greater than themselves. And Kwanzaa is built on an African heritage. So like us, it is, if you will, a new thought on a very ancient tradition. And if you really listen to those words of their 7 principles, it's very much like what we believe. It's just worded a little differently. And so when we talk about unity here, we're talking about wholeness and oneness. We are talking about the fact that even though on this realm, if you will, on this dimension, we all look different. We all know that we have these little separate containers that we are walking the planet with, right? And yet, quantum physics says we're one big, magnificent energy source. All of us. We're just vibrating at a different level at different times, condensed into what looks like this. It's how we have been gifted to see things. It's a gift, I think, and sometimes it's a curse. It's a gift because then we get to see expressions of the divine that don't look like us. None of us are exactly the same, not even identical twins. Although sometimes they can be really confusing if they're really identical. And yet none of us are the same. That's the gift. That can also be the curse. Because instead of looking at someone and seeing, gee, I wonder how they live their life and how it's like mine, we look at them and we start to tick off in our head how they're different. Well, they celebrate Kwanzaa and we celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever we celebrate. Well, you know, they eat spaghetti and they do it for breakfast. We are constantly comparing ourselves to other people. And that can be a gift and a curse also. We have to always come back to that self, that sense of self that says we have the power and the presence within us to be just as magnificent in our own unique way as anyone else walking the planet. And we also need to know that everybody walking the planet is in that same container we are. And so they are as gifted, they are as talented, they are as brilliant, and they are as unique as each and every one of us. That's what unity is. It's realizing that even though we may look separate, even though we may look different, unity to me means coming back to that place within that says, and yet we're all the same. At the very core of who we are, we're all the same. Paul has a song he sang it last time he performed here called One Color Red. And really, the basis of that song is to realize we all bleed one color red. Every single one of us. Doesn't matter what we look like. There isn't somebody that I know of on the planet bleeding green. Maybe because when they got here, they morphed themselves into blood red. I don't know. I just know that right now, here in this dimension, we're all bleeding one color red. And I think it's important that we remember that. Because how easy it is to fall into judgment. And so to remember unity, to remember in your heart that these here in this room, these people that are going to be here next Saturday, people that you pass on the street that may look less fortunate than you, they are your brothers and sisters. Every single one of them is part of this human family. And so they're part of our responsibility, just like we're part of theirs. That's what unity is. And this is a great season to remember that. It's also a great thing to remember that we shouldn't just do it seasonally. It should be a wake-up call all the time to remember. Karen shared with me, and I didn't realize this, and I love how we work together as humans, that somebody, I don't know if you ever drive to here and take the exit off of 518 to get on to Des Moines Road, whatever, Des Moines Boulevard. There is always a woman sitting there asking for money. She has a sign. And it was messy. And so some bright citizen decided what they would do is they would just hang a garbage can there. So she had some place to put her trash. And then we believe that this person probably comes back and picks up the garbage can and takes it so that that area now is clean, because the person uses the garbage can. It's just that there was nothing there before. It's little things that we can do for each other that we don't think. That we don't think, oh, so what? Somebody put a garbage can out. I didn't think of that. It never dawned on me when I walk by and see trash on the road, and the first, I get very critical. It didn't dawn on me that, well, maybe you could do something and provide garbage bags for people so they had some place to throw their litter. We are brilliant in our solutions. We just need to remember how brilliant we are. And so then I want to talk about purpose, because that's another of the Kwanzaa principles. And what we know here is our purpose. I believe, first of all, our purpose is just to enjoy life. You may have a passion, and that's great. You may have something that your heart just says, I need to do this, or I'm going to explode. That's great. Do it. But don't waste your time trying to define what your purpose is and miss out on the fact that life is supposed to be fun. It is supposed to be filled with joy. 24/7? Maybe not. Or is that something we've decided as humans? That we can't be happy 24/7? That that's not why we're here? Have we ever asked ourselves what it would be like if we just decided, you know what, I'm not going to buy into this anymore. I'm just going to be happy 24/7. And then we get, well, no, you need to suffer because this happened, and you need to suffer because this happened. It is part of life. And yet, really, I think that our whole purpose here is to love one another and to bring as much joy into each other's life as we can. What would that look like if we really decided that was how we wanted to live our life? How would the world be different if we got up every day and said, I wonder how I could make one person happy today? Just one person. Somebody I don't know, maybe. Maybe somebody I do know. What would that look like? What would that feel like? How would your life be different? How would the world be different? And so that, I think, is a purpose that we all have, is just to live our life to the absolute fullest and to be happy as often as possible. And sometimes when it's not possible, something has happened in your life, then to lean into those people that you know are going to love and support you. And so I know, and I want to bless her, and I hope she doesn't mind me calling her out, but this is her community, and I think we all need to know this. So Laura Gutierrez, you good? Laura Gutierrez on Saturday, I think Friday, found out that her brother had been killed in an automobile accident. Now I want you to notice something. She came here. She came here. She called me. She called Cynthia. She called Karen. She called a lot of different people, and she showed up here. Whether you knew she needed us or not, she showed up here. That's what community is about. That's what unity is about. That's what love is about. It's about when you don't want to be here because you are in so much pain, that's when you need to be here the most. I remember somebody told me a story about Michael Beckwith, and I have never been to Agape, but my understanding is they have a fabulous choir, and it pretty much rocks. And so somebody came up to Michael Beckwith after service, and it was a longtime member of the community, and he said, as only Michael could, "Sister, where have you been? I have missed you." And she said, I've been in a deep, dark place, and I couldn't come here because there's too much happiness. And he looked right at her and he said, "Oh no, that's when you need to come here the most. You just need to sit and let soak in the happiness of other people. Because if we are vibrational beings, whether you hug Laura after service or not, when I said that, she felt everybody's love. She felt everybody's heart go to her and go, that's one of the best things about this community, is we just love each other regardless of our differences, regardless of our backgrounds. We love each other up all the time. And so that to me is our purpose, is to love each other unconditionally, even when it's hard. To love somebody with that open heart and just say, you know what, regardless, I love you. You drive me crazy. How many have family members like that? You drive me crazy. I love you though, right? So if we give our family a pass, we should probably give each other a pass, right? Because this is family. This is the family that you weren't born into. This is the family you got to choose. And I think that's more important than being born into a family, is when you get to choose your family. So let's remember that we have chose each other. And then the other principle I want to talk about is faith. And they talk about faith differently than we do, and yet I think it's important that we incorporate that. It's not only that we have faith in something bigger than ourselves, it's that we have faith in our brothers and sisters. We have faith in knowing that if we stumble, somebody's there to pick us up. We have faith to know that if we need somebody, we can pick up the phone and call them and they'll answer. And if they don't, they will call us back. To me, that is the important foundation of what this community is and why we're here. And yes, we are growing. And yes, right now, we're smaller. And yet, I think we're more mighty than a lot of communities with the good work we do outside this community and the good work that we do with each other. And by the way, there is going to be another Super Bowl with the cans. There's always... So from January, and we're 2-year running champions, so we have an opportunity. We have an opportunity to three-peat, yeah. We have an opportunity, we'll get as many Super Bowl rings as San Francisco. Had to give her a shout out. But what I thought was what we could do is, because Burien has asked us to give goods, that instead of giving it to the co-op, we'll give all the food to the NOW organization for Burien Public Schools this year. And so it's kind of a combined, instead of doing 2 separate things, which would be overwhelming, we'll just do one huge thing. So faith is that place deep within us that knows that we know that we know. Does everybody understand what that means? That when you really get quiet, that you can hear that voice within you that says you're okay. You can hear that voice within you that says, I got this. Go ahead and surrender. How many of you have lived someplace in your life where you have struggled and struggled and struggled until finally you almost fall to your knees and go, I give up? Yeah. Don't be afraid to raise your hand, because I would bet everybody in this room has been there. That is true surrender. And how many of you, when you finally threw up your hands and say, I give up, all of a sudden the miracle started to happen, right? The question is, why don't we surrender sooner? Right? We are so human that we forget that part of our spiritual practice is surrendering to the divine over and over and over again. And the sooner we do it, the sooner the magic and the miracles happen. And yet, I don't know about you, I will run my game as long as I can. And then it really starts to hurt, and I'm like, okay, I get it. What if I backed the truck up 2 or 3 hertz and went, oh, this would be a good opportunity for me to surrender? What if every day, and I know some of you do this, I'm still practicing this. What if every day, because I don't know if you saw Bernie and Courtney's exchange. Bernie couldn't read Use Me, and Courtney said, if you don't know the words by now. What if every morning you woke up and you sang that song? And if you can't sing, mouth the words. What if you just asked the divine every day, just use me? How magical do you think your life would become if we all just said, use me? That's why I'm here. That divine presence within me wants to be part of something. And so those are the 3 of the 7 principles: purpose, faith, and unity, that I think are so in line with what we believe here in religious science. And so, like Ernest Holmes said, we are all looking for the same thing. We are all looking for ease and grace in our life. We are all looking to be connected to something. Every religion is based on that. We all have a different way to get there. And yet, to realize, if we surrender to that power and that presence that already exists within us, we are powerful beyond our belief. We are more powerful than we give ourselves credit for. And so that's the prayer we're going to do right here and right now. And so if you're ready, you can close your eyes. Or if you choose. And so let's take a moment and take in a deep breath in through the nose. And what I want you to do is take such a deep breath that you can actually feel your body expanding. And realize as it's expanding, it is expanding into that which always has been, always will be, and is right here and right now. That divine energy that we choose to call God. And as you breathe out, allow your body to sink deeper into the chair that you're in and become present to what always has been, always will be. God itself as you. And another deep breath in, and this time hold it even a little bit longer, or breathe in a little bit deeper so that your body is just pushing the energy around you. You can almost feel the energy, and maybe you can feel it if the person sitting next to you or in front of you. And as you breathe out, surrender any difficulty, any doubt, any fear. And one last deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just say yes. Now imagine, if you will, that you could just open up, and that divine energy that's over us, around us, and through us, imagine that it was coming out of on high and pouring right down into you, filling you up to overflowing with the wisdom, the intelligence, the ease, the grace, the love, the compassion that is God, and it is you already. And as you fill up, feel your heartbeat, and know that too is a reminder of who you are and why you're here. It happens without your interference. It is magic. It is a miracle. It is you. So that is what I know for each and every person here today, that they remind themselves over and over and over again of the power and the presence of God within them. They carry that in their heart. And as they look out on the world, instead of seeing how they are different, they start to look for how they're the same, knowing we all are birthed from that same energy. We're all one. So in that I give thanks. On this day I say thank you, Father, Mother, God, Spirit within me, for knowing and holding this truth for myself and every person present here and all people everywhere, that they feel the love and the compassion that is the truth of who they are, either by my words or from the energy as a community that we disperse out right here and right now and in this coming week. I turn all of these words over, knowing that as it is spoken, it is done, and the universe does what it always does. It says yes right back to me. And it is in that yes I let go, I let God, and together we say, and so it is. Thank you all. Please welcome back to the stage Paul Dillon, Keely Whitney, and the highly unusual suspects.
If there ever was a day, the day has come. And if there ever was a time, the time is now. Raise your hands and move your feet. Lift your voice and sing with me. I only love. I only love. And if there ever was a gift, the gift is you. And if there ever was a prayer that has come true, then raise your hands and move your night, black as coal. And if you've ever lost your way, you're not alone. If you've ever seen a light that's growing dim, and if there ever was a time, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I am only love. I am only love. Can you feel it? I am only love. Let's fill this room. I am only love. Stand on up. I am only love. Yes, I am. I am only love. That feels good. I am only love. I am only love. I am only love. I am only love.
Paul Dillon.
Thank you so much, Genesis.